Heroes Legends Studios, and today I'm going to be talking about how I use Jira for project management and developing stories and a to-do list to work on a project, whether that's a game or an app. So here's Jira. It's free to use. I'll post that link uh, in the description. But here's our project board. You'll see you may have an array of apps that you have when you sign up for Jira. And I'm always just going to use it for software development, whether that's apps or games. And you can see here are some of my projects that I'm working on. Really only working on one right now. The other ones are like, you know, projects that I'll do in the future. So anyways, so what you want to do is click create project, and you can get to here by clicking projects, view all projects on the left panel. Once you're here, or if you're starting a new, it'll ask you, hey, create a project. So create a project and you'll start seeing all this stuff. On the left are project templates, and there's all different ones for your needs. Take your time, check them out for whatever you think you may need this for. Um, Again, I would suggest for game development, use software development template. And it comes out with different ways to visualize your project management. Again, this Jira's all free. There are paid tiers, premium prices for some of these, but I'm only going to be showing you the free stuff. And again, like Jira also offers bug tracking, and in the future, I will uh, showcase how you can create your, once you're done publishing your game, your video game, or even app, and you can create a reporting system in Discord to report bugs, and it'll automatically generate bug tracking inside Jira for you. Um, and this is the plan for uh, Koitsugi with Blind Cat Studios. And so I'll cover that at a later time. Um, but definitely check these out. Kanban is more of a to-do board. Everything's kind of like a waterfall effect where you have a bunch of work to do. You can't move on to your next bit of work until all that current work's done. So I guess a good way to, if you're used to-do lists, maybe that's something you want to start with. Um, I'm not a fan of this approach because the list just continues to grow. There's no project management there, no way to organize it, I guess. They do share a lot of similarities with Scrum. I do like the Scrum approach because you can create sprints or things that are called sprints, which is a allotted time that you want a set amount of work to be done. So if you have goals, which you should be setting goals for your video game and app development, go ahead and say, hey, you know what, this month I want to get these 10 items done. 5 items, 2 items, 1 items, whatever it is your goal is. You can say that, well, that's what I want. Maybe I'll have stretch goals, and that's okay. So we're gonna go with Scrum. I do prefer Scrum. Give you a little description of what this is, and we're gonna go over these little work types as well: epic, story, bugs, and tasks, and the workflow to do, in progress, and done. But you can read over this. There's more stuff to this, but I'm going to keep this real basic for anyone who's new to Jira and project management. I'm going to use this template, and it's going to ask you if you're team managed or company managed. Just click team managed. This is going to keep things team focused for you. So right now, I'm going to be making a project, really going over my Game Jam game for the RPG Maker Jam, which I missed. But that's okay because I still want to make the game. And it's going to be real simple. So I do have the name here, RPGM, Game Jam, Rise and Fall. That's the name of the game, Rise and Fall. It's going to ask for a key. I guess because I deleted it, it might still have some of this, but let's just change this name a little bit. And I'm just going to call it RAF, which may have, We'll just call it RF for Rise and Fall. And this is going to go create the project. So this is going to take a second to make. All right. So when you see your project, it's going to bring you to your board. This is going to be where you see those to-do lists. And this would be the Kanban style as well. You'll see this. But for sprints, I think they add extra clarity for like what work and organization. So here you'll always come to, if you want to see what you're currently working on for the current sprint, you'll go to the board. Your backlog items will show everything that you want to work on and what sprints you may have. All right. And yeah, just feel free to, you can add items here, to do items that you want, create sprints, timelines, and such. The view that I like to use the most is the timeline view. And there's other new ones here, the calendar list, forms, goals. I'm not going to go over these. I'm just going to talk about creating, working in the timeline, looking at the backlog, working on the board, and trying to keep this video short. So the first thing you'll see is this little purple lightning bolt here. It's known as an epic. So think of epics as like a group of work. This is going to be, for my instance, we're going to say level designs, right? And however you want to group work. So maybe if you want to say, hey, you know what? I want level designs, and this is how I'll go about it, is like level designs is going to be the epic, the larger group of work. And in an epic, you'll have what are called stories. These are more of your to-do items, right? So, hey, I want to design level 1, level 2, level 3, and then you describe that work. Right? So here, my group of work is level designs. And once that's created, and I like working in a timeline view because you can do everything from here. You can create a child issue, clicking this plus sign, and you'll see that it's a story. We'll get to the other ones soon. So again, the story is your to-do item. Other to-do items could be a task or bug, right? If you have bugs in your app, bugs in your game, want to keep track of all those things. So level designs. So I'm going to keep this generic because this is just a game jam game. I've already written out what I wanted for this game, did some pre-planning, and so I know that I want to design. I have 18 levels, kind of concepted out. So I want to design 18 levels to match concepts. Okay. And again, this is your to-do item. And it's kind of a big to-do item, right? To design 18 levels. But just for clarity, just keeping this video short. So there's going to be also, hey, let's concept those out. Concept 18 levels. And and design art, right? Some concept art. Okay. General idea. So you could say, hey, you know what? I want a concept art for level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. Create a storyboard for those levels. Create a color theory, color scheme for those. Those can be all your to-do items. And, I would recommend creating stories for those. Each one of those, you can click on it. And you can add descriptions. You can add links, attachments, images, and whatnot. And you can always share this stuff here. If you do have a project on Bitbucket or Git, you can link it. I'm not going to really talk about that here. That can be in another video if people are interested in knowing that. But we'll move on to the next group of work, right? Another epic. So we'll just click create epic, and we're going to talk about game design and mechanics. All right. So here, again, create a child issue. I want to say define mechanics of each level. And this game's going to be real simple. And I'll stream it today, trying to like knock this game out because I think it's going to be really easy to do. There's plenty of other projects I want to work on too. So knocking out the simple one, I think, will help. Anyways, so next thing is like, okay, once I define those mechanics, let's program those mechanics, right? And you can get real specific with these and say, you know what, I want to program a jump mechanic. I want to program a moving platform or disappearing platform. So those are things that I know this game will have, and I want to define those mechanics first in this story, and I'll create more stories in this epic to say, hey, you know what? I've talked about those topics, defined them, and now I know what to do. So I'm going to make those to do items. And it's always good to write those descriptions, be more descriptive about your stories so that you know what to do. So if you end up taking a break from your game, you come back, you're like, well, what was I working on? Jira is going to keep it right there for you, right? And it's going to say, oh, this is what my thoughts were. You can write your description, you can add comments and see like references, art, and such. The other thing would be, okay, well, let's go create the levels in RPG Maker, right? Cool. All right, and that's just like maybe standard levels. Maybe that should go in level design too, right? Depends on how you want to see these mechanics. So let's create another epic, right? So, well, to keep this video short, I won't go over that. Well, I'll create two more epics, and we'll see how it all fits together. So we'll say UI and art, and another epic would be publishing and deployment. Okay, I know a lot of people don't really think about publishing and deployment. It's one thing that comes up later on, but I always have like to-do items, right? UI and art would be create level art, create character art, right? And publishing would be create Steam dev account, things like that, and deploy to Windows, deploy to iOS. So these are things I do want to do. I do want to get this on Steam and iOS, Android. So I am all set with developer accounts for Steam and Apple. Not Android yet, but that'll be on my to-do list. So once you have your epics all done, you want to go to your backlog and you'll see all these items here. So what you want to do is you want to create a sprint, right? So you'll notice that you have RF sprint 1, RF sprint 2. You can just add dates. Typically, sprints are 2 weeks long, but you can set up whatever you want to be your time frame, right? And I'm just going to start today, the 5th, and just say update. And what will happen is every sprint afterwards, if I delete the sprint, should stack on that. Let's see. Perfect. So May 19th, this one starts May 19th. Cool. And so now what you want to do is you'll notice that you only have stories. You don't see your epics. Well, these are your epics here. Your epics are your level design, game design, UI, and publishing and deployment. So for the 2 weeks of May 5th through May 19th, what do I want to work on? What should be part of that, that time frame? And, let's definitely work on some design, right? We need to definitely, design should come first. So let's work on that. And you can just drag and drop these in here. And Once you do that, you come back to the timeline and you'll see that you can start seeing it build a project timeline for you. And you can also come in here and start adding. You can see how this highlights. When you create sprints, you can start adding items visually in your calendar, in your timeline, and you can see, hey, let's go to months. What do you want to get done by July? Do we have the Steam Next Fest coming up? Do we have a convention coming up? Do we want to do a sale? Do we want to hit those Steam sales at certain times? Let's set goals. Let's plan this project out, right? And so you can continue to create sprints and plan out your project. And I think planning is really important. I think a lot of indie devs don't plan their projects out, and it's just a missed opportunity. And then, also gives you the time to get away from your game dev. You could be stressing about doing art, doing the coding, design, UI, and you know what? Take a minute, relax, try to plan it out, what you want to do. Um, and so once you organize all these, you can create more sprints. This is a game jam, and maybe even do this for a game jam, right? Say, hey, what? I got 3 days to do this game jam. What I want to get done? Is this possible to do? And that also helps with planning. Why you should plan and help with project management. So define mechanics on each level. Um, let's uh, talk about programming those mechanics and creating the levels in. And you know what? Let's talk about deployment being the next sprint, right? Deploy, create those Steam accounts, deploy to Windows, deploy iOS. Let's talk about let's create all these levels this sprint and try to knock this out, right? So, um, and once you actually start your sprint, you have to actually go here, your backlog, and press start sprint. Make sure the duration, the start date's all good with you. You can add a sprint goal. Um, Now you're going to go to the board and it's going to show these items. And once you're all set to done and good to go. You're ready to start working. So come the next sprint, what did you get done? What didn't you get done? You can always come back to your backlog or your timeline, add more items, move items from sprint to sprint. So when you're done, like say it's May 19th, you only finished 5 out of the 8 items here. And you know what? Let's move those items to the next sprint and continue them on. Or maybe you completed everything early. Let's add some more items from the next sprint. What else is there to do? So um, hopefully all that makes sense. If you have any questions, yeah, leave comments. I'm happy to go over this. I do use this for my projects. I'm using this for Blind Cat Studios as well. And when it comes to creating bugs, you can always go into your board as well and create more issues. And you can say, is this going to be a task or is it going to be a bug? And they're just identifiers. If you want to do reporting, logging, do some analytics on your projects, you can do all that. I'm not going to just go over that today. Maybe I'll do that in some other video if there's interest. But how you can do that, this is what I used to do for my day job. So there's lots of things you can do to show analytics about your progress with game development, app development, and such. Um, but bugs are just really the same thing as stories. They, just a little bit of a different identifier. And that's really it. But if you have any questions about bugs or other types like that, let me know. But if I missed anything, let me know. Please like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Thanks.